You'd be shocked how many people walk into a Maryland personal injury case with barely any paperwork and expect to win. I've seen folks show up with just a few bills and a doctor's note and then wonder why the other side steamrolls them in court. But here's the truth. If you show up fully prepared with every scrap of evidence that they could possibly ask for, your case can move fast. Sometimes it settles in just a single day. It's not common, but it happens. This video walks you through exactly what to bring, how to calculate your case's true value, and why having a lawyer in Maryland really isn't optional. It's your best shot at walking out with a W. So you don't get caught off guard, so that you don't leave money on the table, so that you give yourself a real chance to win. Sometimes before the trial even begins, it is always best to have an experienced Maryland personal injury attorney. Hi, I'm attorney Bobby Zirkin, and let's start with the truth. If you walk into a Maryland personal injury lawsuit with every single piece of evidence the other side could possibly ask for, you immediately set yourself apart from most people who show up to court. This is the single biggest step that you can take to win your case fast, sometimes in just a day. Now, what counts as every bit of evidence? Think about your case like a storybook. Bring the complete picture. Every photograph, every medical bill, every doctor's note, every repair estimate, and every scrap of paper that shows what happened and what it cost you. Let me give you a real example. I once worked with a client who had a slip and fall in a grocery store in Baltimore. She took photos of the puddle, the shoes she was wearing, and even a short video of the store manager apologizing right after the fall. When she showed up to court with all of that, the other side backed down. We didn't even go through with the full trial. It settled right before we started. In Maryland, personal injury claims are all about proof. The more you have, the better your odds. If you're missing paperwork, if your story changes, if you show up with only some bills but not the rest, it throws up red flags. Judges, juries, and insurance lawyers see this every day. They know when someone is only half prepared. Be the person who isn't. Be the one who is completely prepared for their case. What to bring? We bring photos of your injury and the scene, medical records and discharge summaries, doctor's notes about your recovery, all bills from ambulance to prescription receipts, repair estimates, witness names, and if possible, statements. Don't wait until the day before your trial to track these down. Start gathering evidence as soon as the injury happens. In Maryland, your case can move quickly, sometimes within a few months if it's in the district court. Having everything up front signals to the other side that you're serious, and sometimes they will offer a fair settlement or even give up before the case really gets started at all. That's how we win every single day, in sometimes just a day. Know the value of your case and don't settle for less. Maryland law is unique in how damages, meaning money for your injuries, are calculated. It's not just about the hospital bills. You can get money for lost wages, pain and suffering, and even things like missed family events or help needed around the house. But here's the catch. Insurance companies are trained to lowball you. They will throw out a quick offer and hope that you're desperate, confused, or just tired of the process. And if you don't know what your injury is really worth, you might say yes and leave thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollars on the table. For example, I recall a car accident case in Annapolis where my client was rear-ended during rush hour. She had what looked like a minor whiplash on paper, but after we gathered her physical therapy records, her work absences, and even a note from her boss about how the injury affected her at the job, her case value jumped what they were offering, $2,000, to over $37,000. Armed with these facts, on day one, we walked into the first settlement conference and essentially won the case before it even got started. That's the power of knowing the true value of your case. How to calculate. Add up every bill and receipt. Document every day you missed work. Write down how your injury changed your daily life. Miss work, school, chores around the house, activities that you enjoy. Keep a pain journal if you're still hurting. A few sentences a day goes a long way so that you can remember every day of how this accident affected you. Ask your doctor for a letter explaining your long-term recovery. In Maryland, you need proof for every dollar you ask for, especially if you want damages for what's called pain and suffering. If you show up with this information ready to go, the other side realizes quickly that you're not going to be fooled. That's another way to wrap up your case on day one. Don't go alone. Have a Maryland attorney in your corner. Here's something I see all the time. People try to go it alone, thinking it'll save them money. But Maryland law is full of small traps, especially when it comes to something called contributory negligence. That means if the court finds you even 1% at fault for your own injury, you could get nothing. That's a harsh rule, and it's caught more than a few people off guard. Having an attorney with you can make all the difference in the world. Lawyers know how to spot these traps and keep you from falling in them. For example, I once had a client who slipped on ice outside a business in Rockville. The insurance company argued that he should have watched where he was going. Because I was familiar with local cases and county rules about snow removal, I was able to point out that the business essentially broke the law by not clearing their sidewalk within the required time. That argument won that case on day one. How an attorney helps. Attorneys know Maryland's law, especially some of the liability laws like contributory negligence or assumption of the risk or last clear chance. There's a lot of intricacies in Maryland law. Attorneys can read insurance policies for the gotchas within the policies. Attorneys know how to question witnesses and present evidence in the best way possible. And attorneys know how to fight for a full settlement, not a quick and low payout. Even if you think your case is open and shut, the other side's lawyer knows these laws inside and out. Don't risk it. A good attorney can mean all the difference between walking out with a win or walking out with nothing. Early settlement opportunities, but don't be afraid to push beyond them. Not every lawsuit needs to go all the way to a trial. In Maryland, many personal injury cases are resolved before the case even sees the inside of a courtroom, either at what's called a pretrial conference, at a mediation, or even in the courthouse hallway right before court starts. Why? Because both sides realize that dragging it out costs money and time, and the facts are already clear. If your evidence is solid, your damages are proven, and you have an attorney who knows the local playing field, use the first day of your lawsuit as a chance to push for a fair settlement. Don't show up expecting to let the process play out. Show up ready to make a deal if there's a fair one on the table. Here's how this played out for a client in Towson who had a dog bite case. The insurance company's lawyers saw our binder of evidence. They realized we had clear photos, medical records, and 2 witness statements, and the witnesses we were planning on bringing to court. Before we entered the courtroom, they pulled us aside and made an offer that almost doubled their last one. My client settled before a single word was spoken in front of the judge and jury. What to watch for? Be open to taking a settlement, but only if you are happy with the number. Don't let nerves or anger push you to take a bad deal. If the other side sees you're ready, they often don't want to risk a trial. Have your attorney do the talking if you're not comfortable negotiating. Remember, a settlement isn't a loss, it's a win, especially if you get what you deserve. If you're ready on day one, you can often be done on day one. Follow the court's rules and don't miss a step. You'd be surprised how many cases in Maryland are lost, delayed, or thrown out because someone missed a deadline or forgot an important step. The court doesn't make exceptions for not knowing the rules. Here's what you need to know. Maryland courts have strict rules about filing papers, serving the other side, and attending hearings. If you miss your deadlines for serving your lawsuit papers, you may have to start all over or lose your suit. If you don't show up for a required hearing, the case can be dismissed. Even something as simple as forgetting to bring copies of documents can slow down your case or make you look unprepared. In one Montgomery County case I handled, opposing counsel tried to sneak in evidence at the last minute. Because we followed every rule and objected correctly, the judge threw out their surprise evidence. That put us in the driver's seat and made winning that day significantly easier and a reality. Tips to stay on track. Check your court notices for all dates and times. Make copies of every document you plan to use. Bring your ID and any court paperwork to every appearance. If you can't make a date, let your attorney in the court know immediately. And most importantly, get yourself a good Maryland personal injury attorney. If you do every step right, your case can move fast. The judge and the other side see you as someone who takes their case seriously. That often leads to a win much sooner than you think, sometimes in just one day. Ready to win your Maryland personal injury lawsuit? Let's recap. You've learned the 5 essential ways to walk into your Maryland personal injury case ready to win, sometimes before the trial even begins. Come prepared with every shred of evidence. Know exactly what your case is worth, so you won't be shortchanged. Don't go it alone. A Maryland personal injury attorney can save you from common traps. Be ready and willing to settle on fair terms as soon as they become available to you. And above all, we follow the court's rules to the letter. Before you go, you need to watch our next video. How do I know if I need a lawyer after a car accident? We break down the red flags and key moments when hiring a lawyer can make all the difference, sometimes saving you from major legal headaches down the line. If you've been in an accident or know someone who has, this is a must watch to protect your rights and recovery. See you right there.